Is making your bed really the most important thing to do first thing in the morning to have a productive day? Hey guys, my name is Suresh Madhavan, founder and CEO of 221B Tactical. Started from nothing, single mom, really dark tan, and was able to build a multi-million-dollar company. Now own multiple multi-million-dollar pieces of real estate and have maintained my fitness as well as my physical and physical health throughout this time. And I'm just going to share some of the things that I've utilized throughout my life with you. So if you're in my position maybe 20 years ago or so, and maybe you're thinking, hey, I don't know if I can make it, I don't know, I don't have a rich uncle or rich parents, things like that, to show you that yes, you can make it. So that's the purpose of me making these videos. So hopefully videos like this help you on your journey, and that's really the only reason I'm making these videos. So if that's something you want to watch, great, go ahead, keep watching. If not, then you just click to the next video. Okay, so a while back, I watched this video, and this Admiral McRaven, I think a Navy guy, might have been a SEAL, said that the first thing you should do in the morning is make your bed. And I understood the premise of that. You know, you get out, it's a task, you complete it. Don't leave your bed messy. That way, when you come back in the evening, your bed's made, your room is proper. And I get that. And there's a lot of people who have little things like that as acts of discipline that they do just because it's the right thing to do. So I know a lot of people, they can't go to bed if there's dishes in the sink. They don't want to leave the dishes there overnight, so they clean up the dishes. A lot of people can't go to bed if their room is messy. They got to tidy up their room. All those things are great. However, the making your bed first thing in the morning, I understand that, but as an act of discipline, my feeling is the first thing that you do in the morning is you turn off your alarm. That's the very first thing, besides opening your eyes. And I found that moment right there where you have the option, for those of you who have an iPhone, you have a big orange button in the middle of the screen. It's gigantic. And you have a little small button on the bottom that says stop. I think the orange one says snooze, which gives you another 9 minutes of sleep. And then there's stop, all the way gray, really small at the bottom of the screen. So the first thing I always wondered was, why is the snooze button so big, and why is the button to turn off your alarm so small? And I got to realize it's because most people hit the snooze button, so they wanted to make that button easier, and they didn't want you to miss it, and that's what you needed to hit, because they knew that if the off button was orange and the snooze button was small, gray, kind of hidden on the bottom of the screen, people would hit the snooze button, hit the off button, and subsequently sleep in and miss whatever they needed to do. And that's the mentality behind why the buttons are positioned like that. That is exactly why the first thing you do during the day, when you wake up, first thing in the morning, should be not hit the snooze button. That is your immediate first act of discipline in your day. There's nothing else. Nothing else compares to that. You wake up, obviously you wake up from your alarm, and that's it. That's your first decision. Are you going to hit the snooze button? If you are going to hit the snooze button, you must in that moment declare that I'm the person who hits the snooze button. I'm not the person that wakes up when I say I'm going to wake up. I hit the snooze. Now, I talk to a lot of people and they say, well, I set my alarm for a little bit before when I actually have to get out of bed. And to me, that's probably the dumbest thing you could do, because you always want to maximize sleep. I found on my journey to the top, I had to start waking up earlier and earlier and earlier. And at first, of course, it was horrible. Waking up at 6, then 5:30, then 5, then ultimately when I wake up now around 4:30. But I did it in progressions. And of course, it was hard at first. And then ultimately, as many of you know, once you get into the routine of it, you could almost wake up without your alarm. So there's no really need to hit the snooze button. But I was that way when I was on my way up. When I was younger, I was just hitting that snooze button, I would set a time that I wanted to wake up, and then I would hit the snooze, and I'd probably set it a little bit earlier, and then ultimately I would hit the snooze button a couple of times more after that time and get up a little bit later. So let's say, for example, I wanted to wake up at 6 a.m. I would set my alarm for like 5:40, right? And then I would hit the snooze a couple of times, and then around 6 a.m. I'd hit it again, and I'd end up getting out of bed like, 6, so a little bit after 6 or quarter after 6, and that was usually the progression I had, hitting the snooze like 3-4 times. Most of you are that way. And I know it seems insignificant, but the reality is, if you have to have discipline throughout your day, you have to start with discipline. If you don't care about being disciplined throughout your day, well then just go ahead and hit the snooze button 3, 4, 5, 6, however many times you want. But if you have a goal, you have your ultimate ambition, and you want to say, hey, listen, I have a fitness goal, I have a financial goal, whatever it might be. I have to get out of bed at this time. If I don't get out of bed at this time, clearly I'm declaring that I'm not that serious about that goal. I'm not that serious about attaining that ultimate ambition. And that's okay. But the first person you have to declare that to is yourself. You can't sit there and lie to yourself and say, I'm serious about business. I'm serious about getting fit. I'm serious about this. And I'm going to wake up at 5:30. And then the alarm goes off at 5:30 and you're just hitting the snooze, hitting the snooze, hitting the snooze. That you're not serious. You can't tell yourself that you're serious. You got to be honest with yourself. You're like, I hit the snooze button. It's just not that serious. Maybe you're not at that rock bottom point yet where you're just like, I'm done. I'm sick of it. I'm done with this. I'm tired of being overweight. I'm tired of being broke. That's where I was. I was at that point where I was doing those little things, hitting the snooze button, not doing the things I need to do. Finally, I hit that rock bottom point and I was like, that's it. F this. I am done. I am like doing this and I don't care what I have to do. I am going to buckle down and do this. So I hit that rock bottom point of not being in shape and not having money in the bank and, looking at my checking account and being afraid to use my debit card because I'm like, oh my God, this thing's gonna like overdraft or maybe not even go through, get declined. So I had been through all that stuff. And I just got to the point where I said, that's it. I'm not doing this anymore. And I got angry, right? So I tell a lot of people when I talk about this, you almost have to get to that rock bottom point where you're angry. You're just angry. You're so broke, you're angry. You're so out of shape, you're angry. And you're just tired of it, you're sick of it, and you dump it. So when you get to that point, you have to declare, how am I going to start my day? I'm going to start my day with discipline. The very first thing you can do for discipline is not hit the snooze button. Set your alarm for when you want to get up. And when the alarm goes off, you hit that. You got to be, it's a daring thing, right? It's a daring thing because you could sleep in, especially if you have to go to work or whatever. You hit that off button and you fall back asleep, well, then you're screwed. So I committed. I said, I'm not going to hit that snooze button. I'm going to hit that off button. And once you hit that off button, that little bit of fear hits you. You're like, I can't fall back asleep. I cannot fall back asleep. So I would get out. And that was my thing. I like scared myself into getting out of bed. So hit that off button, got out, put my feet on the ground. That was the other thing that was to me was a big thing. If my feet hit the ground, I was good. I was getting out of bed. It was just that one, like, you do that rollover thing, pull the covers over you, the whole thing. Flip the pillow over to the other side where it's cooler, all that stuff. They just said, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to hit the off button, not the big orange shiny button, right? I'm going to hit the little small button. I'm going to hit off and I'm going to put my feet on the ground. And then I'm going to go from there. And then some of you guys know that watch my other videos, my routine, morning meditation and then the reading and then cold plunge and then, going to the gym, all that stuff, which I get into in other videos. I built that progress. And a lot of people say, well, is that what you do every single day? No, I don't do that every single day on purpose because I don't want to get my body into this routine that if I don't get to do those things, then I'm off, right? So I try to be flexible with it. I try to stick to a version of what I do every morning, but I don't always do it in the same order and I don't always do it so strict. There's a version of it, but I do that because I travel a lot for business now. And of course, when you travel, you're out of sorts. You're waking up in a hotel, I'm in a different time zone. They don't have the right gym, whatever it might be. You might not have access to your typical foods that you eat because I prep my meals and things like that. So you don't have that. That's fine. So I go into a separate thing on that about not being so gripped and so structured to your plan. But step one, everyone asks what's step one? And they say, is it your morning meditation? Is it your workout in the morning? Is it your going out in sunlight and doing your 10-minute walk or your grounding outside on the grass? It's none of that, folks. It is none of that. I started out at such a low position and I can't even explain how low I was. And this small act was the first thing that helped change the trajectory of my life. I know you may be watching this video, you might have been like me with, $18 in your checking account, so you can't even go pull $20 out of the ATM. And maybe you're completely out of shape, overweight, whatever, whatever it might have been. Trust me, I was there, I get it, I understand being low. So you might be watching this saying, what do you mean not hitting the snooze button is the catalyst for this? Believe me, once you get into that mode of not hitting the snooze button and you say, I'm going to just get up, I'm going to hit off, you're going to get up, and I'm going to start my day, and I'm going to start doing what I need to do to reach my goals, reach my ambitions. Doing that triggered something in me. It kind of just made me feel good. It made me feel like I'm the kind of guy that I don't hit the snooze button. And then you feel that empowerment, and then it just gives you that empowerment throughout the day because and then later on it was, I'm the guy that that doesn't skip my workout. I'm the guy that doesn't short my workout. I'm the guy that went and worked out and is not going to eat something crappy after my workout. I'm the guy that eats healthy and clean after my workout. I'm the guy that makes the phone calls. I'm the guy that follows up and does a social media post for the business and sends out those 10 emails, whatever. I'm that guy. And it all starts out with being that guy that doesn't hit the snooze button first thing in the morning. And then everything cascades from there. Now, if you are the person that hits the snooze button, you start your day off by not following your commitment that you made the night before to get up at a certain time. And then everything else I found throughout my day, this me personally, would fall back. I would delay stuff. Oh, I got to send this email. I'll do it later. Oh, I got to do this. I'll do it later. Oh, I'm supposed to do this. I'll do it later. And that is a version of hitting the snooze button, waking up later. So that's how I changed. That was the very first thing I did, and it completely changed everything for me. I started getting into my morning routine and, started kind of, creating that I had that strict routine at first, and then I started that flex routine, and that alone will change your life. Like I said, I can get into that in another video, but everyone who always asks, what's the first thing you do in the morning? That's it. It's not the first thing I do, it's the first thing I don't do, and that is hit the snooze button. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and you hit the subscribe and all that stuff. Check out the Ultimate Ambitions podcast, where I bring people on talking about everything that they did, because everyone's different, so everyone has a version of what they needed to do to get to where they are, but highly successful people that have done incredible things in this life, and I share their stories with you and what they did to get to their ultimate ambitions. Check it out anywhere podcasts are. Of course, check out other videos on the channel. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.